Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to This Week in Bitcoin. Today is June the 23rd, 2017. This is home of cryptocurrency straight talk, no fancy setter graphics, just information. And today we have at least two very special guests on the show. We might have three or four. Who knows who might show up? We have the legendary Money Triggs from Twitter. You know him from Twitter. He could be controversial on there. And we got Don Gozo, straight out of Malta. Yes, Malta of all places. This dude's got a YouTube channel. He's got a Bitcoin Twitter and a Bitcoin page. He's a really cool dude, and he's going to give us a unique perspective of what's up in Malta. Welcome to the show, guys.
Happy to be on. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yo,
awesome.
dude.
All right. So yeah, their important links are below, people. I link to their stuff below if you want to check them out. Hey, and pound that like button. Let's get this show started. It's early in the morning here on the East Coast, even earlier out in Los Angeles. All right, so let's start here with Money Triggs. It's been a wild week. It's definitely been a fun wild week. What are your thoughts here on that Ethereum flash crash that happened? And is this just the beginning of the ICOs really putting a negative spin on Ethereum and perhaps bringing it down?
Well, to be honest, if Ethereum, the next best supposedly thing, can even handle one ICO, how is it supposed to handle transactions of millions of people across the world? So it's showing its weak points.
An excellent question indeed. Don, I mean, yes, Gozo Don. Am I calling you? Is that the correct way to address you? Don Gozo. Don Gozo.
Don Gozo sounds cool. Sounds better. It sounds like
you sound like you're in the mafia with Don Gozo there. I'm getting it backwards. What do you have to say about that?
I think to me it's quite worrying that there was like 2 days of congestions with Ethereum, particularly when Ethereum was being promoted for using to exchange assets like in Dubai. So it shows, well, okay, that technology may not be ready yet. And the short-term solution is that we're going to have to use multiple different coins. So we have Bitcoin is the gold standard, and we're just going to have to use different networks for different kinds of transactions. Because Bitcoin isn't ready yet either.
I want to go back to Money Triggs on this. Obviously, Ethereum is the coin of choice of these ICOs. Is that a legitimate use case? And what do you see for Ethereum? I mean, give us a summary of this week in Ethereum for you.
Well, of course, it's the choice because a baby could do it. That's how easy it is. You don't have to have any technical capabilities to basically write a 5-line code and to distribute it. They basically have like how to do meetings to create these ICOs. So it's definitely creating a bubble, which a lot of people have ideas, proof of concept, or startups raising these ridiculous amounts that don't have much of experience in the real world.
It's pretty clear that Money Triggs is not an Ethereum maximist. I think we can see that. And no, I think you are straight talking with Ethereum here. Don, any other thoughts on what's been going on with Ethereum this week? And have you been personally affected in Malta by any of this?
Well, I think if I was going to launch an ICO, which I don't think I would do, I think it shows that you need to use other platforms like Waves or Ethereum Classic just for the practical solution of if it gets congested, there needs to be several different networks or blockchains instead of everybody just using the one, because it's obvious Ethereum isn't ready for it yet. It's a good technology. I'm bullish on it in the long term, but it's not ready. It wasn't ready last week, and it's not going to be ready next week.
So Money Triggs. So what is your, I mean, what is your money Triggs? What's your money financial prediction here for Ethereum in terms of if it's breaking? I mean, you guys are saying it's breaking base. It broke for a little bit there. And I don't want to like create FUD here or anything, but what do you see here?
You know, just before I answer that, talking about like ICOs and stuff, let's not forget that, you know, Counterparty has created a way for you to create tokens / colored coins years before Ethereum. So you could do this on the Bitcoin blockchain right now. But okay, so back to your question is with Ethereum, look at the problems that they're having right now with the blockchain itself has grown exponentially more than Bitcoin blockchain, right? And the Bitcoin blockchain handles a lot more transactions than the Ethereum blockchain. And it's already growing almost double in size. And then when you look at the CPU chart, it's also going way, way higher than Bitcoin. So it's very unstable at this point. It's growing super fast. And all they do is basically promise with sharding, promise with Casper, proof of stake. And they have the model of, okay, move fast, break things. But it's, you know, it's more like a get rich scheme, because if you look at the developer end, you know, they've been very fast to give promises, but not really being able to execute at all.
Yeah, well, indeed. So where do you see with price? I mean, you buy and sell things. What are you into Ethereum at all? Do you see a price prediction for the next month? It obviously, because of the turbulence that we've experienced, it has gone down. I mean, it's still so much more than it was worth at the beginning of the year.
For an example, right? So let's say if Bitcoin would have not be able to transact and all exchanges would have shut down, what just happened, you know what would have happened to Bitcoin price?
What would have happened?
It would have absolutely crashed.
Yes. Okay.
And Ethereum, like, this is a known fact. They have a plunge team. They have a plunge team. So they have a team waiting for when the price crashes to defend it. You know, so Ethereum is very good at PR, and they have a lot of good people at PR, and you can see that they have CoinDesk on speed dial. Okay, they can call it EtherDesk because they have been shilling Ethereum for the last 8 months, even when the price crashed to like $8, where I was shorting the market the whole time, where CoinTimes has been releasing articles saying like this is a bubble, and it went all the way to $8. Like, CoinDesk was still shilling articles like, oh, Microsoft just doubled down on Ethereum and all this crap. Like, I get the feeling they're just trying to get the dumb money in. You
make it seem they have a plunge protection team that's very centralized there, very centralized type of thing. Interesting.
Well, look what happened with the split. Like, it is centralized. Look what happened. The DAO got hacked. There was a handful of people, which are the developers, the inner circle, which their money was, you know, in shambles, and they forked the chain that created Ethereum Classic. So it can't be any more centralized.
But before we go back to Don Gozo, because I know he's got a lot to say about this, do you see in the future of Ethereum, Money Triggs, do you see another fork coming when we hit that proof of stake, proof of work controversy in the future, where Ethereum has to decide on which way to go?
Yeah, so that's going to be another problem. One, if they're able to even pull off the proof of stake, which is Casper, that's one thing, if it's even possible. And then highly likely that there will be another fork split, because the proof of work, which will be the miners, will not let it die. So then you're going to have another split with Ethereum, creating a third coin.
Yes.
That's if they're even able to pull off the Casper, which a lot of people don't think they'll be able to because of the size of the network already. So again, the model of move fast, break things is now backfiring them. But who cares, right? They're all rich now, so nobody cares.
you sound like Tone. By the way, and so you write for cointimes.tech also. I just want, that's linked to below.
Yeah, founder and author there. And it's, you know, we don't make money. It's more of to keep people in check sometimes when articles don't come out, which we think is unfair to the newcomers and to people that are in the field. We kind of put the articles out that we think should be going out there.
All right, and there have been some good ones there before. Pound that like button, people. Golden Hold, Dongozo. We brought up Ethereum. Ethereum Classic got brought up during this discussion, and what do you are you bullish on Ethereum Classic? How about Ethereum? Any thoughts on what was just said?
I think it's possible that the price of Ethereum could go down $50, $75 or $100 over the next week. It's possible, maybe not. To buy, for me personally, and I could change my mind tomorrow. If I was going to buy back into Ethereum, I'd wait for the ICO frenzy to finish, which will be in the middle of July. And after a Segwit 2x is actually fully signaled for an entire week, I'd wait for those three criterias.
Now, why do you say, I'm very interested in what you just said about the ICO madness. Do you think things are going to calm down in the middle of July? What's going on then?
As just looking at scheduled dates, there's like another few ICOs being launched in the next month, and as far as I know, they kind of stop in July because launching an ICO in August would be a bad idea.
Money Triggs, what do you think this ICO thing is going to die down soon in July, or do you think it's just getting started?
What happens when those ICOs need liquidity, right? Well, what's going to happen when Banker Network that just raised 150 million like 2 weeks ago, which right now on the price decline lost almost 40 million in like 10 days, okay? So whoever's in charge that didn't sell already just lost their 40 million in 10 days. And you're talking about Ether it's not even a store of value. It's unlimited inflation. It doesn't have a supply cap. Like all these ICOs that have raised these large amounts that are not hedging their liquidity are basically taking enormous risk and are basically out of their mind.
Wow. Well, I want to say, pound that like button, people, if you were imagining the Ethereum fans, what they will be leaving in the comments section underneath this video so far. Adam Meister, you're the biggest fun Ethereum. You hate Ethereum. Dudes, I don't hate anything, but I know there's going to be some wild comments. So pound that like button, people, now, because the Ethereum people probably aren't going to be pounding that like button in a couple seconds. Don Gozo, you mentioned Segwit 2x. Obviously, everyone is very excited that it looks like Segwit is going to happen in August. Are you calm? Is anyone in Malta actually talking about this? Do you have any Bitcoin connections in Malta? I guess that's a different question. But what's your feeling on Segwit here? Are you just feeling good? Are you ready for a Bitcoin price rise? What do you predict?
I'm still quite cautious about Segwit, and I'll tell you why. Because a week ago, Bitmain, they announced that they're going to do a hard fork. And if you imagine the people who work for that company, they know full well that when they make that announcement, the price is going to drop. And they know full well that people were going to signal for Segwit 2x the following week. So I can't say this for sure, but if I had that information in advance, I would have sold my Bitcoin and bought the next day, and you would have made a 30% gain in your volume. So that kind of price manipulation, I'm still worried about until Segwit is actually fully signaled. So at the moment, while it's signaling today, like whatever, 80, 85, 89% or something like that, it's still not 80% for the entire week. So there's still a few days left where some large Chinese mining company could mess things up, not stop Segwit completely, but just manipulate the price by just pulling out for a day and then going back in again, and they could make a massive gain in their holding. So that sort of thing, I'm still quite worried about, because we saw something similar in Litecoin as well. But when it gets past, I mean, it will get fully signaled in a few days' time. When that happens, then clear sailing from there. But until then, I'm still like cautious of these Chinese miners playing these shenanigans, which they've been doing for like 5 months now.
Yes, China coin. Money Triggs, what do you have to say about all that?
Okay, so what was the original
Well,
question?
it's so what do you think? Are you confident about Segwit now? I mean, I am totally.
You know,
I have no worries personally, but Don has a little worries. How about you?
you know, we're all in the room, right? And the users, we're all in the room, and the users have a grenade, and we just pull the pin and threw it on the floor. So the miners have to decide: are they going to pick up the pin and put it back in, so don't we all die or not? So that's called the Independence Day user activated soft fork BIP 148. You know, the users are absolutely fed up with the greed and the monopoly going on, where they basically think that because they're mining it, that they control the protocol. So,
Yes.
and about being, you know, if you have a lot of money on the table, what you can do is take a bit of risk off the table till you see it locks in. But I personally think it will, because it will damage everybody if we split. And if we do split, guess what? The user activated soft fork with BIP 148 is going to be the one with the original Segwit, and then Lightning will come and everything else, and that will be the fast one that all the big companies need to do the fast and cheap transactions. So they won't even have a chance, even if it does happen, and they know that.
I got to agree with you that I got to say that I think all the players involved know that we don't want a doomsday scenario. A doomsday scenario will hurt everyone. We don't need 2 Bitcoin. The user activated soft fork was the leverage that is pushing the miners in the correct direction and has gotten everyone behind this Segwit thing. And, you know, Barry Silbert might say he's the hero of the day, and maybe he is. He made the compromise or whatever. But, hey, we should just all be happy that we are getting segregated witness is my thing. I'm very calm about the whole situation, and I don't try to analyze every little bit. But, hey, we got awesome guests on here today, so it's great we're talking about this. I wanted to quickly transition to something that somebody brought up in the chat, actually. And I guess it's newsworthy in the sense that, you know, I'm asked, and maybe you guys are often also, so many people just try to talk about some altcoin that I really never heard of because, like, there's 700 of them and you can't hear of all of them. But what is up, and Money Triggs, you might actually know about this more. What is up with this BitConnect thing? Is this a total scam, or do you even know about this?
Well, that's very coincidental, because I was in a chat group where a bit more, you know, noob kind of people, and I heard about that too today. So I'm actually also a bit interested. Is it like a Ponzi scheme, or what's going on here?
That's what it totally seems like to me. And I'm just like, it scares me that people are asking me about it because they consider it legitimate. And it's listed on CoinMarketCap, which I guess makes it look like it's legitimate. There are a lot of illegitimate things on there. I mean, maybe that's what we can make the conclusion of, that, like, just because something's on the coinmarketcap.com list doesn't mean you should toss money at it. Doesn't mean it's legitimate. I've heard different. I mean, I am no expert on this BitConnect. Have you heard about this, Don Gozo?
Yeah. So basically, in a nutshell, BitConnect is it's kind of like a trading bot. So when you invest in dollars into the trading bot, the bot automatically trades against BitConnect and Bitcoin, and it makes a profit, and it gives you an interest on the investment. So it's somewhat legitimate. However, what I realized was, if you say you put in $1,000 worth, you'd probably make back $4,000 at the end of the year, which sounds really good from an investment point of view. However, if you were trading and investing in other coins, you would make more money back. So for people who are into trading, it's not really a good option. But it's kind of a somewhat legitimate platform for people who are into kind of BitConnect and Genesis mining, those kinds of things. I'm not going to call it a scam, but it's just for me, I mean, I did put money into it until I realized that if I had put that money elsewhere, it would have been much better for me. So that's my disclaimer. I did put money into it, but now I'm kind of like, oh, I wish I didn't.
Yeah, well, it seems like it's a lot safer just to buy and hold Bitcoin instead of letting somebody else hold on to your value. And who knows if these guys could run away with things. And you said it's for like the Genesis mining type of crowd. I mean, that crowd, I mean, that is a crowd. And it's made up of a lot of newbies who just are not patient people, who are impulsive. And there's, again, I talk about just, holding your Bitcoin until 2020. For me, it's just like, it's a savings account. And they're just, I mean, every week in Bitcoin, this is news in Bitcoin, there are just so many impulsive people who are loud and trying to get you into like these new things. And then there's just the tortoises like me and the tortoise and the hare, just like slow and steady. And I see this as like the battle forevermore. Like it seems to be growing every week. And I just don't see why people have this desire to be impulsive. And I guess they're gamblers. I guess I don't understand the gambling mentality. Money Triggs, do you have any thought on that?
We can call it, growing pains. And what he said by scam, like a Ponzi originally, it's one getting in and the other one getting paid out, one getting in till it stops. So, it's you could call it a legit model, but what happens when the website is down and they're gone? Bitcoin was made to have financial sovereignty. Bitcoin was made that you can control and have it and even make multiple copies to be safe everywhere. If not, you could be at the bank. So the BitConnect, I don't see much use for it, but like you said, the noobs, they come into space and they're like, oh, I'm gonna mine, I'm gonna do Genesis mining, I'm gonna do this BitConnect, because they think they're being smarter than the market, but they really don't understand. That's why they'll have the growing pains of losing money here and there, or in the future when Bitcoin's 10 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand, they're like, damn it, why did I do that? Why did I do that? So
yeah, I think a lot of people miss that. They see certain things are going up in terms of dollars, but they don't understand if in terms of Bitcoin, their investments aren't going up at all. They're actually losing. They'd be better just by holding on to Bitcoin. But it doesn't seem very glamorous. Anyway, I think a future prediction here is that it's just going to keep the more and more. And it's great that new people are entering the space. I think it's wonderful. But they're becoming an overwhelmingly loud voice, and some impulsive things are just being made to seem legitimate, and people just need to be careful. And people are going to say, Adam, you're no fun at all. Okay, I'm no fun, but dude, I know how to save money. I know how to save money and create value. So Don Gozo, any thoughts on that anymore? Or do you have any? I know you've got a unique perspective. You're in Malta. You're in a place a lot of people don't even get to hear much about Malta, period. So tell us what's up there, or if you have any comments on what has just been said. That the floor is yours here.
Well, to talk about Malta a bit, just for people who don't have a clue where Malta is at all, it's in between Italy and Libya. The language is an Arabic-based language, but it's a largely Christian country. About 13 years ago, it joined the EU, so it's going through a cultural change where it's becoming more liberal and open. And at the moment, the government is promoting blockchain technology, which isn't, of course, necessary, but that's a plus. And there's now several Bitcoin-related groups. Last week, Club Scientific in Gozo had a great introduction to Bitcoin for new people. Tomorrow, Bitcoin Club Gozo, which is an organization that I'm involved with, we're having a few speakers in Ala, if anyone is in the town of Ala or on Gozo. Then next week, Bitcoin Meetup Malta on the 30th of June is having another, I think maybe 2 speakers in St. Julian's, which is a popular area for clubbing and nightclubs and stuff. And then Bit Malta, lastly, on the 4th of July is having its inaugural meeting, which is going to be a bit of a polished, professional business networking kind of an event. Bit Malta is kind of an association of different Bitcoin groups in Malta. And I'm also involved with them. Sometimes we do consultations with businesses and I integrate. Bitcoin,
I think it's
taken off.
Well, yeah, and also Malta, they were in the news because the government, again, and you kind of alluded to this, they're kind of reaching out to blockchain or Bitcoin or whatever you want to say. And I think it's really, they're one of the, at least in terms of marketing, very proactive in terms of cryptocurrency. I mean, I find it very fascinating, and I really, it's great to know you and to so that you can, tell people like what's really going on the ground there, because we read these stories often about these countries, but we rarely get to hear people who are on the ground. And I really pride myself in getting people like you from these countries that we hear about, whether it be Venezuela or Malta or whatever, on the air. So like, I thank you much. I see in the chat right now there is actually another guy from Malta in there, which is kind of ironic. I've seen that dude in there before. So I am looking in the chat, guys, for a second. I'm just for a second. I can't pay much attention to that. Money Triggs, any big stories that you want to bring up here? The floor is yours.
Well, big story. You could say, again, I'm going to get a lot of Ethereum hate for this, but look how the price crashed to 10 cents on GDAX and Coinbase. And then now that exchange has reversed these transactions and profits from users. So I see liabilities and lawyers knocking on their door pretty soon, because they have a group right now of all the traders that have lost money, and they're going to be opening up, getting lawyers to try to get their money back, because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's very interesting about that lawyer situation, though. I mean, it's an unregulated. Some of the people, they're against regulations, but then when they get into a bad financial situation, they're craving for regulations. It's interesting. I mean, in this space, I think you gotta expect to be screwed here. I think people have to, when they're trading something, Ethereum is not a sure thing. These ICOs are not a sure thing. If everyone says, hey, all I got to do is buy some Ethereum, it'll go up in price. It's not a sure thing, people, and you might end up wanting to sue someone. So be real careful. As I think that's what I always say, be real careful. But there's another example. Pound that like button, people, if you'd like to be careful.
With the exchange, it basically had a slippage. So it was 100%. There was a multi-million-dollar dump, right? A market dump. And then everybody that had a stop loss was executed. There was hundreds of stop losses. So some of these people, their stop losses, kicked in at $1 when it could. So it's 100% the responsibility of the trading engine of the exchange.
Yeah,
so they're going to have issues. It just depends how rich the users are, because when you're very rich, you get good lawyers, and they're going to have to settle with some of these people, which is my personal opinion, of course. But yes, the Ether market is, very unstable, in my opinion. I'm sure everybody's going to say no because they got rich off of it, but it looks very much like the chart of the 2013 Bitcoin chart, where it skyrocketed to 1,000, and after the Mt. Gox hack, it basically just fucking dropped like a rock. Sorry for my French.
That's all right. Ethereum. Do you have an Ethereum Classic opinion? I know Don mentioned that for a second. Do you have any Ethereum? Because I mean, obviously, they're running. They really are the same thing in a sense. Do you have these feelings toward Ethereum Classic also?
Well, if you just look at the price, I think it's more of a realistic price of what the protocol is and where it's going. So even if you feel like speculating, I would say speculate on Ethereum Classic. But protocol-wise, they're not going to change proof of work. So that the future will at least keep going with that one. But with the Ethereum, the normal chain, like, they don't even know how to pull off Casper, which is the proof of stake right now. And they've been delaying it for so long. I'm just flabbergasted of how people are willing to jump in without doing any research. dude, if you look on these news, you know, they were on TV. They couldn't even spell Ethereum right. They're spelling it with IU. Like, that's how little research they do. They can't even spell the word Ethereum right, and they're advising people to buy.
You should check out YouTube, man. There are so many people like that that are just saying buy this some random altcoin just because it went up by $2 or doubled. I mean, we've got all sorts of new pundits out there popping up every day. If you've got a nice camera, you're a pundit now on YouTube. So be careful, everyone. Be careful. Don Gozo, I must ask you, Don Gozo, are there any altcoins that are interesting? You know, I'm not an altcoin guy. I am a buy and hold Bitcoin guy. I am very simple. But there are now 130 people in the live chat pounding that like button, no doubt. And a few of them want to hear about what altcoins you like. Do you have any altcoin opinions, Don?
The one I think is quite interesting is IOTA. It's I couldn't tell you in the long term if it's going to win out, but it's an interesting project. Last time I checked, you can only buy it on Bitfinex. It's a fees. It claims to be scalable, so let's see if it's scalable. What makes it massively different from other cryptocurrencies is that instead of a linear blockchain, it's using a tangled blockchain, which again, we're just gonna have to test it out and see if it works. It works. This is the bit I like about it. It can't be hard forked. And that to me is very interesting because as I said before, I really don't like this kind of like hard forks, soft forks, and people making announcements. I find it very annoying. And I just find it interesting that IOTA could be a possible future solution to this. But again, we don't have to switch from Bitcoin to IOTA. We can have, you know, Bitcoin can be your gold. You can use Waves for buying your coffee, and IOTA for getting machines to make transactions between each other.
Well, I gotta tell you, you just made quite a few people happy out there that you said the words IOTA the word IOTA on this broadcast, because there have been a couple people that are just like, Adam, mention IOTA, and I'm just like, dude, I don't know what the heck that thing is. It's the latest flavor of the month, and I don't have time to look into it or anything like that. And that's basically my stand right now also. But hey, look, it shows you it is, you know, this show is called This Week in Bitcoin. It's supposed to be about the news of the cryptocurrency of the week, and people are asking about this thing. So it is whether I like it or not, it is news of the week. I put other people on the show that are going to, you know, talk about this thing. So for the people who also say, yo, Adam, you only give one opinion, you don't have other dudes, I got people of all sorts of opinions here. So, hey, I don't know a thing about IOTA. Don just said something about it. I'm not endorsing anything to do with it. But hey, it's interesting. Money Tricks, do you know about this IOTA thing at all? Any opinions on any altcoins you wanted to toss out there too?
Okay, so let me start with IOTA. What I know is that they had partnered up with Bitfinex, and that's why it's even listed on Bitfinex, which is a bit of a, you know, cautious to look at. And they don't have a blockchain, which, you know, makes me a bit nervous. Other than that, I have no clue. And other altcoins, well, you know, it's interesting because I would see a use case for privacy coins, but we have Mimblewimble right now that is being created for Bitcoin. And when that gets implemented, then all these privacy coins are going to have a hard time when that comes up, you know, because Bitcoin will be eating everybody's dinner by then. And let's talk about one thing. I might get some heat for this one, but let's talk about the Ethereum killer, right? Because Don Gozo just said about, you know, don't like hard forks, soft forks. Well, there's this new one that they're going to be doing ICO, well, you know, which is its own protocol, which maybe you heard of, is Tezos. And they're implementing a governance feature in it, which then won't acquire any soft fork or hard forks. It will be the stakeholders voting on protocol changes, right? And it will start off proof of stake, which what Ethereum has been promising since day one, which they can't pull off. So again, it's not as a value coin, as a store of value, but as smart contract, it might be the Ethereum killer. But then again, you have the rootstock, right? The RSK, which is being built right now for Bitcoin. So the interesting thing with Tezos is that it has the backing of billionaire Tim Draper, which has never backed any other coin. So it's getting a lot of attention. And yeah, that it's going to start with a proof of stake.
How do you spell Tezos anyway? Just so we get it right for the Googlers out there.
T-E-Z-O-S.
T-E-Z-O-S. So you would not call T-E-Z-O-S.
Yes, .com. You can go.
Okay, you do not consider yourself a Bitcoin maximalist then at all. You're willing to hold some altcoins then.
You know, the thing is, you know, the Bitcoin maximalist word even is just complete bullshit that was created by Vitalik. So, you know, I'm 100% Bitcoin, and I know where it's gonna go, where it can go with all these implementations like Segwit and Mimblewimble for privacy. But that doesn't mean that you can profit off of, you know, beginnings of other protocols which do have a good team behind it and have good backing and have thought through. Like Tezos has been busy for almost 3 years. So unlike Ethereum, where they're like, okay, let's raise money and just move fast, break things, they've been really thinking about this process. So I'm not chilling, guys. You know, don't shoot my head off. I'm just saying it might be the Ethereum killer, because just imagine the amount of funding in the crypto space right now. Just look at these ridiculous app coins raising like 60 million, which that messenger for the Ethereum one raising 60 for an app. Okay, so when you have a protocol made from scratch with a different language, which solves problems like governance, which is clearly shown now, which they've been actually doing since 3 years back, which now the problem really shows itself, and they're starting off with a proof of stake. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know, we might have something here. Again, not gonna be like maybe the #1 smart contract, because rootstock on the Bitcoin blockchain might do that, but still, it'll definitely be a very good competitor.
Wow, this is I like this information you're putting out here too. We're getting a very unique perspective on these altcoins and how Bitcoin and Mimblewimble could hurt some of these altcoins. In terms of the Ethereum one at least. Pound that like button, people. Pound that like button. I wanted to kind of transition into something I thought of when everyone here is now bringing up all these altcoins. Let's talk about, I mean, what some consider the original like altcoin, which it might have not have been the first one, but Litecoin here. I want to ask Don Gozo. Let me ask you about Litecoin. There's many people were very excited that yes, they implemented segregated witness first. They were the test net for Bitcoin. They proved it could work. Now Bitcoin is going to do it. And now Litecoin has gotten up to $50, where it once was such a long time ago. So many people are so bullish on Litecoin, and it's a legitimate coin. There's a legitimate guy behind it. It's clearly not a scam. And so people were saying it might overtake Bitcoin. It might do this, that, and the other. On the other hand, now I am kind of cautious about Litecoin. Again, I respect Charlie Lee. I think it's great that it can be a test net for Bitcoin, but I don't see it being a test net. They're going to have to do something on it soon to prove that it's going to test something else for Bitcoin real soon, in my opinion, or else people are going to be like, why do I have this thing once you're able to do small transactions on Bitcoin? So what do you see as the future? Are you bullish Litecoin here, or are we in peak Litecoin now? Are we going to look back on this shortly and say like, oh, that was Litecoin, now it's gone back down again? What do you have to say about Litecoin, Don?
At the top of my head, I wouldn't be surprised if the price fell down to a half. Maybe not. I mean, I'm kind of cautious around Litecoin. I think it's reasonable to have as a hedge in your portfolio. But if Segwit gets passed, so then why am I having a weaker version of Bitcoin? It is good that it is liquidable. Like, you can easily convert your Litecoin into dollars or euros through many exchanges. So it is good in that regards. But maybe I'm wrong. But I mean, I would expect the price to go down. So I don't know what the future of Litecoin is. I'm not super excited about it. I mean, it was exciting a few months ago, but it's not exciting now. I mean, I don't think it'll be exciting in 1 month's time.
Okay,
maybe as a hedge, I'd buy it as a hedge.
Yeah, money trees. What's your feeling like when I just checked? I just checked here in the chat, and of course we have a guy that says I feel Litecoin is very bullish. I mean, I don't understand where these people are coming from. I really don't. What is your feeling?
You know, just like Dongazo and what you said yourself, I agree with it being a testnet for Bitcoin, right? It had shown that, look, Segwit can be activated. The user-activated software can put pressure on them. And just like they had an example where, look, there's $1 million or a few $1 million in this wallet, try to take it when Segwit activated. Because there were a lot of FUD, like, oh, this can happen, and then funds can be stolen, double spent, this and that. But they've shown that Segwit works and it cannot be stolen, right? So it's a great use case as a test net, but on price right now, I would also have to agree that, you know, it's short term going to go down, but it does have liquidity. Exchanges, you know, all exchanges do have it, but other than that, you know, I'm not really bullish on Bitcoin price.
Yeah, I have to say, you know, we've got 700 altcoins out there. So many of them are not going to exist in 2020. I can say, or just be totally scanned by then, or like 1 cent or whatever. I can say that Litecoin is going to be a legitimate coin in the year 2020. It's going to survive because it's going to always be that test net. It's always going to be the silver. But can I say, you should be holding Litecoin instead of Bitcoin? No way. No, I don't see how it can gain value in terms of Bitcoin even for the medium term, or definitely not for the long term. So I mean, that's my little take there. I'm supposed to be the moderator here, but hey, I give some opinions too. Our third guy never showed up today. All right, so conclusionary statements here. We're here at the end of the show. I'll start with you, Don Gozo. Please tell us, share some wisdom with us. Tell us where people can find you. Tell us anything you want to say. The floor is yours here.
I'd like people to go on to Steemit. Find me on Steemit, steemit.com/@responsive. I put up several charts a week. Myself and my brother were working out a trading strategy that we're testing out over the month, and I'll be putting up data on what's an easy way for people to trade with cryptocurrency with the aim of doubling your Bitcoin in a month. I can't obviously guarantee that, but that's what we're testing out. Facebook, managing Steemit Crypto Traders Group, and then I've got my YouTube channel, which is Cheapest Bitcoin Price, where I'm largely focusing on trading with Bitcoin aimed at beginners. That's what I'm mostly doing. And then, of course, there's Bitcoin Club Gozo, which is organizing Bitcoin-related events on the island of Gozo.
Well, Don Gozo, thank you for being on the show today. And I do have his links below in the notes section. If I need to add any more, he'll tell me. You've been a wonderful, wonderful guest, and it's very insightful. Money Triggs, have some conclusionary thoughts for you. Anything that has been left out of the show that you want to say? Any contact information you want to share? Again, pound that like button, people. There's a lot of you out there this morning, and the links are below. So go at it there, Money Triggs.
Well, we have interesting times ahead. You know, it's going to be exciting with 1 August coming up. I honestly think if we get Segwit activated and everything is good, that, you know, the price could go to like 10,000 easily when Lightning and everything else gets set in, and we're doing 100,000 transactions per second and stuff like that. So we're definitely at a tipping point right now. So I'm very excited, and yeah, I'm running my user-activated soft fork node, the BIP148. I've been running the Bitcoin Core node for over 3.5 years, and I have mine running right now, and I'm not changing mine. So my standpoint there is secure, and yeah, just hold. Be sure to or have your coins on the Trezor, because they're supporting the BIP148. Contact your exchanges, make sure that they're supporting it so you don't lose coins if you're trading or not. And with the whole speculation about Litecoin and stuff, don't chase the peak. Like if you want to speculate, at least look at the fundamentals, look if there's a decent backing team, and get in early, and then sell when it goes up. That's all I can tell the new guys. Don't go buying when it's all hyped up, like what they're doing in Ethereum on the Wall Street Journal. Because remember, people, they're authors, okay? You send them one Bitcoin, they'll write whatever you tell them. So just please keep that in mind.
All right, these are good notes to end on, and check out the link section below, because Minetrix does have his own publication. They don't take money or anything like that. He did bring up the Trezor also. Trezor links, if you want to get a Trezor, it's linked to below. I'm a big believer in the Trezor. If you like these T-shirts also, you can get that below with the Meister discount below. The Meister discount, whatever, you type in Meister code. Anyway, and you get a discount. So do check out the links below, people. They are awesome. You can learn a lot. I will conclude the show by saying thanks a lot, guest. We will be back next Friday. I'll still be in the United States then. We'll have some more guests. Who knows what time we'll be on for This Week in Bitcoin. I post a new show here every day of the week that's not This Week in Bitcoin. Tomorrow night, we're going to have a very special guest on. Joseph will be talking about storage devices, how you can get storage devices. People are looking forward to that. That'll be Saturday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, check out the archives to see some of our old shows. I thank my guests again. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video. Check out the notes section below. Pound that like button. Bye-bye, everyone. Talk to you later. See ya.